Today, we want to talk to you about olive green, which is the natural precursor to gold. And you can see that really clearly when you look at what makes up olive green. So, first of all, you have yellow, which represents the power centre, and we add green to that, which represents the heart and is all about love. So, you can see that the softening of power, but more than that, it's really about that final recognition of the importance of cooperation and what collaborating with others can bring in terms of intensifying the energy and then what comes in.
I see olive green as taking all of the positive qualities of orange.
Yeah.
So I would use words like creativity, cooperation, that real sense of connectivity and a team spirit in a vibrant culture that's just on the edge of achieving something rather marvellous.
Absolutely. Only the difference, I think, to understand that we need to look at, well, what can happen in orange because we still haven't fully integrated all the parts of ourselves because we haven't got to coral at that point. There is a tendency that when it doesn't quite work, the connection doesn't quite work, or the need to belong, we end up with real power struggles in orange. And what you see in the top teams is each member of that team fighting over the different parts of the business, saying, that's mine, no, that's mine. And therefore, that doesn't run smoothly, and you then end up with the creation of silos, and then people in each silo not talking to the members of another silo, and a lot of division, really.
Yeah. In the body, we've got the vital organ of the liver. And what the liver does is effectively cleanse, purify, and eliminate the toxins in our system to keep a healthy, functioning body and a healthy system. What olive green is doing in a business is exactly that. It's keeping the system healthy so it can thrive. And it's actually this interplay in the relationship between the feminine and the masculine. If you think of the feminine as the ideas creator, if we've got too much feminine energy in a business, we have a lot of ideas, but we don't do a lot of action. If we have too much masculine energy in a business, there's a lot of acting and doing, but sometimes there's not enough time given to think through the conception of the idea, to talk and connect, and for others to understand. So in essence, what we're really saying is olive green is the being of leadership. And actually, if we start from that premise, as we talked to you about in gold, be it, then do it, we can actually start to get a lot faster or a lot further ahead with a lot less effort and a lot more cooperation.
So what we're seeing, if we take this up at level in terms of looking at, well, what does this mean on a larger scale in society? The order of the day for quite some time has been the mechanical paradigm. And what we mean by that is this sort of concept that's all about growth, endless growth, to the cost of finite resources on the earth, etc., etc. And people are beginning to question that now and say, really, is that what it's about? That it's all about shareholder value and coming up with the goods every quarter, because it doesn't allow that space that you've just been talking about, Kath, to reflect and to consider, is this the best way forward? Are we going to create more abundance overall by taking this approach? And so what we're beginning to see now is what we've termed in our book, Colourful Boardrooms, the rise of the feminine and the feminisation of business, which isn't more women in the boardroom necessarily. It's more, as you were saying, about the increase in feminine energy and balancing the masculine energy.
And what I'm fascinated by is, I think it's probably little wonder that we haven't seen perhaps the acceleration of collaboration and connection in organisations to the degree that it needs to shape up and happen in order to find a way through this more complex world. And that might have something to do with the fact that businesses in the main have been, largely masculine, certainly at the top levels.
That's it. And if we take a quick look through a different lens, through the lens of small business, we see often people get fed up with where they are and decide, well, actually, for different reasons, I'm going to set up my own business at home. love it, and then get frustrated because they don't have that level of connection and collaboration with others, and do look at ways to get that. But often what's on offer doesn't provide that. So, networking, for example, is all really just about reciprocity. I'll buy your product if you buy mine. So, actually, nobody's really winning except perhaps the person who set up the group and is taking the fees. So, in the frustration of not being able to find a way through, people give up and go back into an employed situation because they think that's going to give them that sort of sense of connection. Whereas what we've discovered in our partnership, and increasingly we're seeing it elsewhere, is the power of two. And actually bringing those two energies together gives us more, and more comes in as a result because abundance is there for everybody.
So if we're to summarise Olive Green, we would use the mantra that many hands make light work. But of course, sometimes what gets in the way is this fear that, too many cooks spoil the broth.